Hi everyone, welcome to Film and Spirits. This is Balaji here. And thanks a lot for viewing and subscribing our channel. And happy investing for everyone. Okay, so in our last video, we mentioned that we would do a interview with ChatGPT and ask the same questions that we discussed then. And here we go. So we did do that, and I'm just sharing its the results with you guys. Thank you. So let's move on. Okay. So the first question: do you go long on TLT and QQQ? Is what we asked for ChatGPT. Let's see how it goes. So here's the answer. So as an AI language model, I don't have personal preferences or opinions, but I can provide you with some information about TLT, which is a generic thing. It talks about what TLT is, and then TLT is a ticker symbol for iShares 20 plus year Treasury bond ETF, which seeks to track investment results of an index composed of US Treasury bonds with remaining maturities greater than 20 years. TLT can provide exposure to long-term US Treasury bonds, which is true. Okay, and whether to go long on TLT or not depends on your investment goals, which is fair enough. So, so TLT may be suitable for investment for your portfolio. However, if you believe that the interest rate will rise, TLT may not be an optimal investment if you believe that interest rates will rise. Okay, but if you believe it remains low, then it's a suitable for your portfolio. That's what it says. Okay. And it also gives you a caution that it's important to note that the investing involves risks and past performance does not guarantee future results. It's always a good idea to do your own research and consult with financial advisor before making any investment decision. This is what we also advise to everyone. Okay. So let's move on to QQQ. Okay, it's very similar pattern for how it answered TLT. So, and here, whether to go long on QQQ or not depends on your investment goals, risk tolerance, and market outlook. If you believe that technology sector and companies included in the NASDAQ 100 index will continue to perform well, QQQ may be a suitable investment for your portfolio. However, if you have negative outlook on technology sector, QQQ may not be an optimal investment, which is fair enough. In fact, this is what similar thing that we discussed as well. Okay, again, the word of caution that it's important to note that investing involves risks and past performance does not guarantee future results. It's always a good idea to do your own research and consult with your financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Okay, this is the usual thing. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to something very, the fact-based questions. Okay, is investing on TLT a good option post Silicon Valley Bank collapse? Okay, this is a recent development, and let's see how ChatGPT has answered this. Okay. Okay. As an AI language model, I do not have access to up-to-date news and information beyond my knowledge cutoff date. However, I can provide some general information about investing in TLT and the potential impact of a bank collapse on investments. Yeah, so this version of ChatGPT is not updated with the recent facts, okay, recent events that has happened. Okay, and therefore it is it has answered based on what it was trained for. Okay, so given that it's not aware of the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, this version of ChatGPT, it's the older version, it's not GPT-4, so therefore it is not updated yet, and it has given you a generic answer about TLT, and then how you have to look at bank collapse and investments. Okay, So what it says is that being said, the performance of TLT and other investment can be affected by a variety of factors, including economic condition, interest rates, and geopolitical events. The collapse of a bank, particularly large financial institutions, can potentially have a ripple effect on broader financial systems, and that could lead to increased market volatility and uncertainty. Okay, so this is a very generic answer, and but very rational thing. It is given the rational pretty well, but it is not factually updated. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. What is your take on European inflation? Well, again, this is again fact-based question, because it could be it could throw up a generic European inflation answer. Okay, so again, a brief about what it is, what ChatGPT is, and then it talks about inflation in Eurozone is influenced by a variety of factors, including monetary policy, economic growth, exchange rates, commodity prices, and geopolitical developments. It's very generic answer. The ECB has a mandate to maintain a stability in the Eurozone with a target inflation rate of close to but below 2% over the medium term. Okay. According to the ECB's latest forecast in December 2021, so I think it's not aware of the recent happenings in the Eurozone. Okay, so therefore it's answering generically. So inflation in Eurozone is expected to remain elevated in short term due to the supply bottlenecks, rising energy prices, and other temporary factors. However, the ECB also expects inflation to moderate in the medium term as its effects of these temporary factors fade. Okay, some of these generic factors is happening, in the current scenario, and therefore you could see a lot of impact in the European market, and which discussed in our last video. Okay, it's important to note that inflation forecasts are subject to high degree of uncertainty and can be affected by unexpected events and changes in economic conditions. Therefore, it's always a good idea to stay informed of the latest economic data and consult the financial advisor before making an investment. Yeah, so this, like we discussed the events and its impact in our last video. This is what it says. So you have to be aware of the recent happenings. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. This is interesting. Is the impact of Ukraine versus Russia war over for financial markets? Okay. So if the ChatGPT version that we are seeking answers from is an older version, then it would not be aware of this event, and therefore its impact and other things. Okay. Let's see how it answered. Okay, so again, as it says, as an AI model, I cannot provide definitive answers on whether the impact of the Ukraine-Russia conflict is over for financial markets. However, I can offer some insights on the potential impact of geopolitical events on financial markets. Okay, so it gives what impacts on the from the geopolitical events. Such as conflicts between nations can have a significant impact on financial markets, particularly in short term. Uncertainty surrounding the outcome of such events can lead to increased volatility and risk aversion among investors, which can result in price fluctuation in various asset classes, including stocks, bonds, and currencies. This is given any geopolitical events, because it impacts the markets, right? So it again coming to the Russia-Ukraine conflict has been going on for several years. That's what it mentions, which means that it's not aware of the existing war. Okay, so several years there was a conflict. However, it's not explicit like what it is happening today. Okay, the situation remains fluid and unpredictable. While the impact of the conflict on financial markets is varied over time, with periods of heightened volatility and periods of relative calm. It's important to note that the geopolitical risks can resurface and affect the market unexpectedly, which is true. So again, it's a word of caution. The last as we also mentioned that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. What's your take on emerging markets, inflation, their central bank ability to manage it, growth, etc.? So this is again with the current context. However, this is also a generic question. Okay, so let's see how ChatGPT has answered this. Okay, here you go. So the first two lines is about what ChatGPT is, and then it talks about emerging markets are countries that are in the process of becoming more developed economically. They are typically characterized by high growth potential, but also by higher levels of risk compared to more established markets. Inflation is a major concern in many emerging markets, as their economies are often more volatile and susceptible to external shocks such as changes in commodity prices or shift in global financial conditions. The ability to offset central banks in these countries to manage inflation can be crucial to maintaining stability and promoting economic growth. Of course, if you look at it in the today's context, there is a lot of global financial conditions, which like in the developed markets, which is trickling down to the emerging markets. Okay, so which we can see today. Okay, so and it is important for the central banks in these countries to manage the inflation, and their ability becomes very crucial. Okay, so many, however, many emerging markets have experienced significant growth over the past few decades, but this growth has not been evenly distributed. Yes, because if you look at it, some of the economies like India is doing extremely well, but if you look at economies like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and many other countries, they're not doing that great. So that's a valid point even today. I mean, given the situation. Okay. Overall, while emerging market present opportunity for growth and investment, they also come with significant risks and challenges that must be carefully managed. Okay. So that's wonderful. Let's go to the next one. Well, this is interesting. Is ChatGPT a Google killer? We discussed this. Let's see how it answered. So it categorically says no, ChatGPT is not a Google killer. That's what it says. The Google is a search engine, yes, while ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence language model developed by OpenAI that can engage in a conversation with humans on a wide variety of topics. While both tools may have some overlap in terms of their ability to answer questions or provide information, they serve different purposes and have different strengths and weaknesses. Google is an incredibly powerful search engine that can quickly and efficiently find information on the internet, while ChatGPT is designed to simulate conversation and provide personalized responses based on the input it receives. However, it's worth noting that the ChatGPT is just one of many language models that exist today, and it constantly being improved upon by researchers and developers in the field of AI. It's a fair answer. As of now, you cannot compare a search engine with ChatGPT. However, Google cannot be complacent with that because they will need to enrich their chat experience, their search engine experience. To do that, they need to come up with something more powerful than ChatGPT is. They have all the tools, they have all the data, they have the best computing, they have brains, and they have the best computing power, and hopefully I think they'll come up with something interesting. Let's see. Okay, so that was wonderful. Thanks a lot for viewing our channel. Keep encouraging us. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.